Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the synastry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. This isn't just a feud, this is cosmic warfare written in their charts. And as always, I'm going to be layering in the asteroids because they make a huge difference in the interpretation of a chart and the energies between two people. So I'm going to get started. Kendrick's Megara, the asteroid of aggression, conjuncts Drake's sun and narcissist. That means that Kendrick is not just calling Drake out, he's targeting his identity and his ego. So this is a personal war aimed at who Drake is as a man and as an artist. It's the difference between a fight and a vendetta. This is identity warfare written right in the stars. And I'm not taking sides. I barely follow them. So I'm just telling you what the chart is telling me. But it gets darker here because Kendrick's Electco, one of the Greek Furies, the Vengeance one, sits on his sun and also conjuncts Drake's Lilith. And Lilith is about the shadow side, the stuff that you hide, one of the energies. So Kendrick's basically poking right into Drake's deepest, darkest self. This energy is raw, primal, and relentless due to the Greek Furies involved. No holding back here. So if you put these aspects together so far, this isn't just a music industry rivalry. It's also a karmic judgment. And Kendrick is the avenger. Drake is in the crosshairs who fights back. And the chart reads like an ancient story of retribution due to all the Greek Furies showing up. So this is not a beef that's going to fizzle out. This is a war for legacy, identity, and it's identity versus shadow and pride versus accusation. Now, Kendrick's Mars, Mercury, and Persephone and Point of Fortune all together in Cancer is a quiet storm that knows exactly when to strike. Its intelligence sharpened into a weapon, words that cut. Mars gives him the edge, the fire, and Mercury gives him the precision. And Persephone, the other Greek fury of retribution, brings that story, that the Avenger's energy and the one who punishes the guilty. That's the energies of Persephone. Now in Cancer, that energy it's not loud at first. It brews under the surface. It's emotional but controlled until he feels violated or disrespected, then it erupts. His voice becomes his vengeance, and his rage is calculated, intimate, and personal. And because this triple conjunction lands right on Drake's moon, it turns into an emotional vendetta. But Kendrick's Mars also conjuncts Drake's Law asteroid. So this means that there's going to be lawyers involved somewhere along the line because Mars is in the 9th house, which rules law. Kendrick's, Daedalus, and Nemesis also conjuncts Drake's moon. Mars is the fuel, and Daedalus adds a twisted layer. That energy has to do with envy mixed with genius, the kind that plots instead of explodes. And Nemesis is behind the scenes betrayal. So together, there is emotional warfare going on here. Also, Drake's Nemesis conjuncts Kendrick's Venus. Sneaky betrayal behind the scenes, like I just said, to Kendrick, involving music and diss tracks because of the 3rd house, and Venus rules music. Drake's Bologna, Singer, and Karma on Kendrick's North Node, and Erato makes this entire theme between them about war through singing and art, and the price that comes with it. Bologna is the Roman goddess of war, and she brings the fight. Singer gives it a microphone, and Karma is keeping the score here. This is a relationship fueled by rivalry. Every lyric, public jab, every verse is part of a karmic loop that they can't escape. Erato adds into the theme of music and writing. For Drake, this connection drags him into the arena where music becomes weaponized, and for Kendrick, It defines the destiny of their dynamic due to the North Node. Now, Drake's Mars in Aquarius overlays into Kendrick's fourth house. That's ruled by Uranus. And Kendrick's Uranus conjuncts Drake's Medea and Sato in the fourth house that rules the home and the family. So that's unpredictable, volatile, revenge energy, sudden upheaval tied to the family. Medea brings the urge for payback. Sato brings cruelty, and Uranus is the sudden catalyst, the shock that triggers a streak of revenge out of nowhere towards Kendrick about the home and the family. So there's something going on here with the home and the family. Kendrick's Ixion conjuncts Drake's Venus. That's boundary crossing energy, plain and simple. Ixion doesn't care about rules. And with Venus, it affects his relationships and maybe even his career. So did Kendrick try to ruin or kill Drake's career? Because Ixion is also associated with the energy of murder. Now, Drake's got Ixion conjuncting on his own Venus in Scorpio, and that is bad boy energy. It just doubles down everything here. So he's magnetic, but he can also be really dangerous in love. There's a bad boy vibe here. Kendrick's Jupiter and Talos is conjuncting Drake's North Node. This means the theme between the two of them. And there's this expansion through rivalry because Jupiter magnifies everything it touches. It amplifies the energies, good or bad. Now with Talos here, Talos is the myth in Greek mythology of the brilliant rival turned enemy. So when Kendrick's Jupiter and Talos conjuncts Drake's North Node, it's like it's the destiny for Drake, where the relationship is going to ultimately end up. And it's tangled with Kendrick's ego-fueled genius and competitive streak. Kendrick becomes a living trigger for Drake's fate, pushing him to grow or outdo himself and defend his throne. Now, I have to tell you about Daedalus and Talos. This is important because it ties into their chart. They're two sides of the same monster, genius and envy, fused together. In the myth, Talos was Daedalus's apprentice, brighter, younger, maybe even more gifted. And Daedalus couldn't handle it. He got jealous and tried to destroy him. But if you zoom out, they're reflections of each other. Both brilliant, both ambitious, both desperate to prove who's the real innovator. So in this chart, it's not one-sided jealousy. It's mutual recognition that cuts both ways. Kendrick is Daedalus, and he might feel that Drake's getting unearned glory for something he paved the way for. And Drake, who is Talos, might feel like Kendrick's gatekeeping genius, it should be shared. And both are threatened by the other's brilliance, and both are trying to one-up the other without realizing they're trapped in the same Greek myth. You can't make this up. It's not, in Greek mythology, it was teacher versus student, but it's not in this case. It's mirror versus mirror. Kendrick's Nessus conjuncts Drake's ascendant at 29 degrees. And this means there's a control dynamic tied to how Drake presents himself to the world. Nessus is about abuse, control, and power plays. So this isn't just surface tension. It's a karmic spotlight on something that Drake can't ignore until it's dealt with. It lingers. It's like being caught in a loop that stops progress. That's why the 29-degree ascendant factor makes this so important, because it's stuck energy. It's like a frozen sort of dynamic that has to resolve itself before it can actually move forward. And that's why I'm saying that this is just going to go on and on. There's a loop here, and there's stuck frozen energy that keeps recycling itself back to the myth of of both of them, with envy, jealousy, aggression, control, and all of the energies that I just described between the two of them in their chart. So that's all I have today. And I hope you enjoyed this interpretation. And like I said, I don't follow them. I do know they sing rap music, but that's about it. So let me know how you felt about this synastry. But I will be back shortly with other synastry charts, so share, like, and subscribe to support my channel. Have a nice day.